Good day, my name is Angelo. This is Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. How have we been? As for we over here, we've been doing perfectly alright. Okay, now I would like to share a particular expose very quick with you. Recall that I brought you a very vast update some time ago about the involvement of Femi Gbajabiamila, the Chief of Staff of President Bola Ahmed Tinibu, his involvement in corrupt practices and his involvement in monetary theft to a particular client far away in the US in the early 2000s, all right, which contributed to his deportation and all that. Okay, now furthermore, I delved into affairs or into investigation, and I noticed that lots of things happened, of course, but right now the US have done something, okay, and it's been lingering for a while now. Listen, US legal panel from United States finally terminates Femi Gbajabiamila's law license after stealing money from clients, violating bar rules. Yes, so a legal panel in the United States have finally terminated his law license, so he can no longer practice law in the US. No wonder he actually has been clamoring to be the chief of staff, and finally he's the chief of staff. You hardly hear that Femi Gbajabiamila traveled to the United States. You hardly hear that. Okay, he is part of the criminals on United States criminal watch list, of course. So anytime he enters there to practice anything, they would get up with him. Yes, so I have the details and I'm going to share them very quickly. All right, now looking at the character he is serving, Bola Tinibu, you are sure to know that something illicit is going on between them, and that is why they are together. All right, now whereas Femi Gbajabiamila suffered the consequences of his own offenses in the US, which spanned from the early aughts through 2020, his corruption in Nigeria has gone unpunished. In 2021, Mr. Gbajabiamila was among top lawmakers and government ministers who received heavy bribes from private businessmen to undercut local communities in passing the controversial 2021 law regulating the Nigerian hydrocarbon industry. Okay, now I'm going to be giving you in details his involvement over time in corrupt practices and what led, of course, not vastly, because I've brought the first update, that like a part one. So I will tell you what actually caused this. All right, now for several weeks, Femi Gbajabiamila dodged investigators and newsmen, okay, because of their requests for comments about his corruption cases and punishment in the USA. All right, now spokespeople of various news media platforms approached him, but he refused to tender his own attention to speak. But now a spokesperson for the State House, while he was still the Speaker of the House of Representatives, also failed to send in comments that were promised after several weeks of requests from various newsmen. All right, but something happened. Since newsmen could not have access information from Nigeria, they went back to Georgia where the offense was committed. All right, so bar officials from Georgia told newsmen that Mr. Gbajabiamila's latest ordeal began when a client filed a grievance form against him for theft. Okay, Mr. Gbajabiamila subsequently ignored the bar and stopped paying his fees and under membership obligations, of course. So after investigations, the Nigerian politician Femi Gbajabiamila, who currently serves as the chief of staff of the president, of course, we know that himself, a man of uncountable scandals, was ostracized from the prestigious body effective from 1st July 2020, according to records recently obtained by our sources. Okay, he was found to have stolen money from a client and also failed to pay his membership fees over time, even after giving time for remorse. Mr. Gbajabiamila, the chief of staff, disgraced Nigeria in the US and disgraced himself. Okay, now it underscores yet again the gulf between civilization that exacts fair and available instruments, and to foster accountability, of course, between Nigeria and transparency between Nigeria and other other foreign countries, okay? Because when people like this begin to go outside and dent the image of Nigerians, you will begin to wonder if Nigerians go outside Nigeria, if they will as well be listened to or be considered as honest people, all right? The former House of Representatives Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, also got his law license terminated at the state of Georgia by the State Bar of Georgia in the United States after his corruption and ethical lapses outstripped acceptable thresholds for members and other people respectively, okay? So all said and done, you would notice that whatever happened between Femi Gbajabiamila and that customer in the US has never been forgotten. And the Bar Association of Georgia will never forget this particular occurrence, okay? On your screen, as you can see, it's a document. This document is a proof to show not only indictment, but to show that the Bar Association of Georgia have finally withdrawn his law license or his license to practice law in the United States. This is a proof to you that finally, after the case lingered for a very, very long while, Femi Gbajabiamila has had his law license withdrawn from him. Yes, this is as far back as this particular occurrence happened as far back as in the early 2000s. But this year, 2023, finally his law license have been withdrawn from him. That means the Bar Association in Georgia authenticated this document that was given to him in 2007. They authenticated it to remind him that he still has charges to answer to. And this is very funny that this man is back in Nigeria, you know, as a very, very strong politician. In fact, he is occupying the most important seat amongst the staff of the Aso Villa, the chief of staff. This is very, very surprising. But you can't expect anything less when their principal, the person who occupies the most important seat in the land, has also fraudulent past and questionable dignity. All right. So second on the list of updates is on the saga concerning Bola Ahmed Tinibu's certificate forgery and alleged impersonation. All right. One Mr. Osita Chidoka, the director of Voter Intelligence and Strategy, People's Democratic Party Campaign Council, has come out to ask Bola Tinibu to please resign honorably, okay, to return honor to Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole, instead of stay in Aso Rock and occupy an illicit seat which you know that you controversially acquired. Please stay tuned for Osita Chidoka, who is the director of Voter Intelligence with the PDP.
We plan to do that. We're going to submit it to the Supreme Court. Right. Whether they will accept it is a question for them. But I think this is beyond legalism. I think it's beyond legalism. I don't think that Nigeria as a country should be debating whether the Supreme Court will accept a document. We're internationally embarrassed. We're going to be the subject of international conversations. Our president will be the subject of a man who is going to be needing to make difficult decisions in Nigeria. The population of Nigeria is predominantly young. The young people in Nigeria need to be mobilized. The fuel subsidy has gone. Dollar is at 1,000 naira. Our production has fallen below 1 million barrels. Our foreign reserves is largely made up of fake dollars borrowed from banks, so we have less than 3 billion. Our letters of credit are no more being accepted by international banks. Then we're having challenges with power in Nigeria. We're having challenges with deregulating the electricity sector. For you to take these decisions, you need a national consensus. You need legitimacy. You need to go to the West African region to spread the gospel of democracy. You can't go there with a tainted mandate. That is the point. I don't think the point is the Supreme Court's decision. The Supreme Court will be doing itself and the country a great disservice if it does not take judicial notice of what the legal deposition in Chicago University has done. So what is at issue here really for me is that I think the president should just resign. There should be some honor in this country. He should just say, you know, I made a mistake. I don't know how I got this certificate. I don't know, I sent somebody and maybe he got to me wrong. But this is not something that needs another technical, legal rigmarole. No, this is something that will hobble the country. It will reduce our capacity to intervene in the West African region. It will reduce our capacity to be the leading African nation. It will reduce its ability to convince Nigerians that we need to take difficult decisions. It will be difficult to convince our students in school to follow the path of honor. So I don't think this is an issue of legality. For me, I don't see it as a legal issue. Well, I see it as a moral.
Okay, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still Nation Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. Now, we have spoken about Osita Chidoka from the People's Democratic Party. Let us try to go neutral, okay? Because I'm trying to sample opinions on what people perceive on this certificate forgery saga and impersonation by Bola Ahmed Tinibu. All right. Now I have somebody different on this next video because I want to juxtapose. I want to bring two of them together, juxtapose, and then give analysis finally. All right. Now this video has the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, VON, which is, of course, it's supposed to be a radio station, a neutral radio station, all right. But he has come on air to, speak on the saga concerning the same certificates forgery involving Bola Tinubu. But something happened. He was grilled by Osita. He was grilled by Oseni Rufai. Osita Ogechiku was grilled by Oseni Rufai. Okay. And during this grilling or question and answer session or interview, something happened. I noticed that Osita Okechukwu did not want to say some things. I don't know why. Is he afraid? Or maybe he's feeling he may be sacked as the DG of the VON? Because this is talking about somebody in Aso Rock. Please listen to this interview and then we'll talk more. Stay tuned.
A birthday mismatch. There were 3 different birthdays of the president. 3 different. So what's even his date of birth? 1952? 1954? 1955? Isn't that enough to talk that we don't even know the date of birth? Gender error? Female or male? What's the gender? Unanswered questions, and also the events at the deposition. I think those are the substantive issues here. Those are the issues that are preventing investors from coming. I would like to have your take on that, because those are the great issues on ground. As the DG of the Voice of Nigeria, that you project Nigeria's image. Let's talk about that, sir. Analyze for us. Why will somebody have 3 different dates of births? Probably do you have 3 yourself?
I will be the happiest person that will have a purity situation in our system. And I know, going through the course of history of liberal democracy, that will happen. If it doesn't happen today, it will not prevent tomorrow. The point of the matter is that there are rules. The same PDP failed in their own way. That's what I'm referring to. That we cannot burn down the house because of the unfirst error of the leadership of the PDP. I'm not trying to defend any irregularity.
But talk about the irregularity. You're shying away from it, sir. Talk about the irregularity, because that's the substantive matter in this story. Talk about the irregularity. You're shying away from it. Is it good for somebody to have 3 dates of birth?
My brother.
My brother.
My brother.
Yes, sir.
My brother.
Yes, sir.
Can I tell you something?
Bless you, sir.
Please,
go ahead, sir.
Leave emotion out of it.
Okay.
Why do we have the presidential election petition court?
Yeah, finally we're back. Okay, you've watched the video there, and of course I can't really say for sure that Osita Okechukwu is neutral. He is not neutral. He is not even on the side of justice. We all know on whose side he's on. That is why he refused to say anything. Okay, hence the reason why we just cut the interview somehow from a particular part. Okay, well, that is just true that what has happened in Nigeria may equally finally prevent investors from coming into, foster diffusion of ideas and, investing in lots of natural resources and other sustainability development occurrences or activities that might actually bring up to the skyrocketing of the economy sometime. All right. So, well, this is just a quick call to Bola Tinubu to please resign instead of preventing foreign investors from coming into Nigeria because of this saga surrounding his presidency. Thank you so much for staying with us. I hope you enjoyed our updates. I would urge you to please like our videos, share them. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. And if you're watching me for the first time, please tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Of course, you know what you always do. These things you do aid YouTube to make us go viral and very, very popular, to serve you better. See you next time. From me is bye.